What's going on, guys? The Fight 3 doing another video, and welcome back to Umineko, where as you can tell by my voice, 3 guesses, just kidding, I am sick. Every single freaking time I go to record Umineko, I'm sick, and before this my headphones were acting up too, so the universe really did not want me to record this today. But you know what? Who cares? We're continuing. Last time we argued about cookies, ravens, and chessboards. Yeah, no, that's I mean, that's kind of what we did, but okay. That bitter comment did in fact appear to have marked the end of the opening battle. They were arguing about, like, their logic. That's more of a better explanation in case for some reason this is your first video of mine. I was unable to relax my feeling of tension until I was greeted by the sound of Rudolf's applause. Yeah. Just because we can argue that there's an infinite number of people.
俺の手でもぎ取ったものなのか取るよう誘導されたものかはまだわからねえなどうせお前のことだ
It was probably a chess sacrifice.
俺が罠にはまり始めてるのを知ってて白々しく拍手をしてるんだ
まさか序盤とはいえお嬢様より一本を奪った手腕を純粋に祝福いたしております何しろお嬢様はすぐ増長するお方たまにはこのような刺激も良い薬かと思いますよ。
お前んとこの執事、ほんと口悪いな。
であろう
Oh.
たまにわらわでも
She did not say that soft at all. I thought he was like whispering it.
それは大変に失礼いたしました。さあさあ、お嬢様にバトラ様、紅茶のおかわりはいかがですかなまだゲームは始まったばかりでございます。
What about the cookies?
ゲームを彩るお茶とお菓子はどうかこの私めにお任せをどうぞお気兼ねなくゲームをおすすめになってください
そうさせてもらう先を進めるぜこれからが本番だ
Yeah
よかろう時計を進めようではないかロノウェ紅茶を頼む
かしこまりましたクッキーは
yeah, cookies.
いらぬベルゼブブにやれば喜ぼう
Beelzebub? What?
沈黙せよ
While listening to the sound of the demon butler pouring tea, the witch closed her eyes slowly and fell into silence. For some time she was deeply lost in thought, but eventually a roguish glint came into her eyes. Oh. That was good timed.
わらわがどうして初手にて赤で語るのを拒否したのか
何
Yeah, no, she's gonna take away all his confidence. This happens every single time.
やはり見逃すには惜しい大駒よ拙速かもしれぬが動かせてもらおう赤は使わぬ今よりそのわらわに代わってローザが聞くがよ
What? How is Rosa gonna help you? Are you gonna force her to eat, like, more of her siblings? Oh my god, the ending to last episode was crazy, though.
もちろん私も同意よローザもそうでしょローザ
ごめんなさい私も同じよ同意するわ
どうしたんやローザさん
I've been possessed by Beatrice.
あんたさっきからずいぶんおとなしいな
Beatrice.
体調でも悪いんとちゃうか
From the beginning, Rosa had never been one to willingly cut, and yeah, I'm pretty sure this entire time she's kind of just been quiet. But even so, she seemed unmotivated, and had almost nothing at all during this night's conference. The whole time she'd been, probably because Eva's scaring her away, she'd been hanging her head and appeared to be thinking of something
あん
else.
たさっきからぼんやりしてるわよそんなので遺産が守れると思ってるのあんたも一児の母なんだからもっとしっかりなさいよ
Yeah, I'd be scared of Eva too.
ごめんなさい
朝がだいぶ早かったんじゃないかね体調が悪いなら無理をしない方がいいだろう
客室にベッドの用意がありますよ
No, don't go to bed. If you go to bed, there's gonna be 6 of you dead in
お
the
休みに
morning.
なってはいかがですかご案内しますよ
Well, I mean, either way, there'll be 6 of you dead, but like, I need to see it happen.
ありがとう
どうしたんだ何か心配事でもあるのか
いえ
What is he worried about, though?
そうさっきからずっと心ここにあらずという感じよ。そしてそれは今私たちがしている議題と何か関係があるんじゃないかしら。
You wonder? I guarantee it definitely is. At those words, everyone stared at Rosa thinking, "Ah, this is sad for Rosa." As if in response, Rosa's shoulders quivered. Apparently, Kiri's guess hadn't been wrong, nor did Rosa deny it.
あの
No, she tried. She swallowed whatever what it was about to say and went silent again. By now, even the other siblings were also beginning to realize that something about her demeanor was different from usual.
どうしたんだ。さっきからおかしいぞ。何か思うことでもあるのか。
わしら全員で団結しようって誓い合ったばかりやないか。一人で悩むなんて水臭い話やで。話したってな。
ローザ、話しなさい。
I would not say it based on that face and just, Rosa, tell us. Pressed by the men one after the other, Rosa made up her mind and nervously began to open up. It was almost as though she was trying to confess to some modest prank which had inadvertently brought about a serious situation. Such was the atmosphere in the room.
いえベアトリーチェっていう
Well, that's a fun sentence starter.
生きてるのかしらって思って。
Wait, you're what? I thought in the last episode you were like, there's no such thing.
はあそりゃ生きてるに決まってるでしょう。こうして手紙を送ってくるぐらいだもの。
元気かどうかは別の問題だろうけどね。肖像画の美女も。今じゃきっといいお年
Oh
頃
yeah,
のさ
sorry, I forgot. They're all like accepting her in this one.
元気やと思うで。
Also, though, it's a nice change of pace. Like everyone working together, not fighting each other.
金のことで悪知恵働くやつは決まっていくつになっても元気や。案外悪巧みは最高の回春剤かもしらへんで。
生きてるはずないの。
今なんて
Why can't she be alive?
ベアトリーチェは死んでるのよ。私が殺した。
What? Ah!
なんだって。
What the fuck?
どういうことよローザ。
でも私が殺したわけじゃ。でも私があんなところに連れ出したから。
What?
やっぱり私が殺したのよ。あれは夢だと思い込もうとしたのよ。
Excuse
や
me.
っぱりあれは夢じゃなかったのよ。だからこれはベアトリチェの俺からの手紙なのよ。
Don't cry. Explain the situation, pretty please. It was so sudden that everyone was I'm at a loss for words. Rosa kept on talking, unable to stop, holding her head as her hair flew all about.
どうか落ち着いてローザさん。
わしには何がないやらさっぱりや。もう死んどる。
Already
どうい
dead?
う意味なんや。
二つの意味があると思うわ。まず一つ目は言葉通りの意味、そしてもう一つは私たちの想像が正しかったことを裏付けるも
ということで、ローザはベアトリーチェに会ったことがあると。
Is this just for this episode, or is this for like every episode? Because if so, that doesn't make a lot of sense for why Rosa did the same. Well, I thought she was the culprit of the last episode, so maybe she was killed. Actually, it would make sense.
そんな話ローザの口からは一度も聞いたことがないわ。ローザいつよ。あなたは一体いつベアトリーチェに会ったのよ。
昔よ。ずっと昔よ。まだこの島に引っ越してきたばかりで私は幼かった。私は悪くないの。私が殺したわけじゃ。
Stop. Tell us. Yeah. Rudolph's making sense right now.
水でも飲め。な、夏日さん、水差しを頼む。
Please spill it on her by accident.
どうぞローザさん、どうか落ち着いて。
The what? Like, I'm gonna need a flashback here. Until Rosa was able to regain her calm and missed her ragged breath, no one was able to speak a word. Okay, damn. A strange time to... Oh, Rosa and the Witch of the Forest. Oh, wait, just, this was the prologue, wasn't it?
Beatrice, 先ほどから呼んでおる。
Kidzo is so like that. I called you 5 times. Why aren't you answering any of my texts?
声なんだか？
そうであったか。すまぬ。ぼんやり考え事をしていた。
Wait, what?
許せ。
Why does he sound like that?
良い天気だな。なるほど。陽気に心を奪われるのもわかるというもの。紅茶はここで飲むか？
No.
わらわは何者なのか。
Huh?
今紅茶を持ってくる。しばし待て。
紅茶は良い。わらわの話に付き合え。
This is an imposter.
うん。
Yeah, and there was the other Beatrice from, like I said, the prologue in, like, a very similar area to this. So that this one doesn't sound like Beatrice. He just said, "Who am I?" Is there multiple Beatrices? Kinzo had the excuse of going to bring some black tree to try and interrupt the conversation for the time being, but his attempt had been very transparent. I sat in the garden chair and beckoned Kinzo to do the same. Kinzo sat down heavily, exaggerating his age. For a while we sat, appreciating the silence.
わらわは何者なのか、この問いに。今日まで答えてくれた者はおらぬ。なぜか皆目をそらし、はぐらかす。そなたとは長い仲だ。わらわはそなたを無二の友であり、
Even
そ
as,
して父ですらあると思って
but he's in love with you.
だからどうか教えてほしい。そなたは知っているはずだ。わらわが何者であるかを。
なぜにそのようなことが気になるのか。そなたはベアトリーチェ。この屋敷の主ではないか。それ以上の何を知りたいというのか。
わからぬ。
なんだ。何が知りたいのか自分でもわからぬというのか。それは不可解な。
I'm
若き日には
baffled.
出口なき思考
Am I
の
missing something
迷路
here?
にて遊びたくなることもある。
Like, I'm so
そなたの
confused.
悩みもそれであろう。
Kinzo laughed as though it was a trivial matter. However, I couldn't help but feel that this behavior was nothing but another attempt to force me to stop my further questioning.
やはりそなたもそれを語ってはくれぬのか。
語ることなど何も。そなたはベアトリーチェだ。
That's
そ
not
れ
an
で
answer.
十分ではないか。
いや違う。わらわが知りたいのは名前ではない。わらわが何者なのかだ。わらわは誰で何で。
If you answer Beatrice one more time. Oh, I did not mean to press enter.
やはり紅茶を持ってこよう。せっかくの陽気がもったいないとは思わぬか。
What? How does this Rosa relate to
これは
this?
何の話だ？
Yeah, I
ど
agree.
うやらお前の昔話のようだが、
But what about Rosa?
まさかここまで遡るとは。
自分は誰なのか、えらく高尚な悩みをお持ちのようじゃねえか。
無理もない。当時のわらわは自分が何者なのか、何のために生きているのかを理解できなかった。
Wait, Rika. I know it's just Japanese, but
誰で
still.
も思春期になると、
Oh,
自分
God.
の生きる意味とは何ぞやみたいな哲学的な悩みに一度はとらわれるものさ。
Okay, well, Badoa mentioned puberty without turning me down to a dirty joke.
そんな微笑ましい時期があっただけという話だろ。
わらわは生まれた
We should get to learn about Beatrice's puberty, I guess.
そして屋敷の中だけで生きた。もちろん庭には出られたが、
敷地はとても高い柵で囲まれており、それを出ることはできず、また出てはならないと厳しく言われておった。わらわはな、屋敷と庭は自由に歩けたが、その外へは自らの意志ではたった一歩。
そりゃどういう意味だよ。物心ついた時から
They both
ず
kind
っ
of
とカゴの
confused.
鳥だったって言いたいのか。
そういうものだと思っていた。何しろ気づいた時からそういう生活だったからな。疑問にも思わなかった。
お前一体。
それよ、それこそ
どうせ人間ではなくて魔女でしたって言いやがるんだろ。
Let me guess, she's gonna say, I was a human before I became a
いや
witch.
まだ違う。
Wait, what?
かつてそうだ。
Oh, that's unexpected.
わらわは金蔵によって作られた。
Oh, never mind.
人間によって作られた
Back to expected, but slightly unexpected. What do you mean constructed by Kinzo?
肉でできた檻とでも言うべきか。
なんだよそりゃ。妙な話を言い出しやがって。
Yeah, did he like build you? Does Kinzo have like a basement where he
ど
assembles
うせ
people?
そなたは信じぬだろう
It's
が。
like a really weird form of Legos.
まずは聞け。わらわは千年を経た偉大なる魔女であった。しかしある時、金蔵によって呼び出され、その秘術にて永遠の虜となるよう縛られたのだ。
そりゃ初耳だぜ。後宮家で知られてる話では、お前はじい様に呼び出されて悪魔の契約みたいなのを結んで黄金を授けたってことになってるぜ。
それは正しい。そしてわらわは黄金を授け、契約の終わる時まで姿を消すはずだった。しかしまあモテる女の辛
It's
い
tough
とこ
being a
よな。
popular woman.
金蔵はこともあろうか、わらわに恋をした。
じい様も金眼が進んでたんだろうよ。ついでに乱視だな。よりによってお前に惚れるとはよ。
Of all the... Don't call Beatrice a thing.
まあわらわにとっては迷惑この上ない話よ。しかし人間の力とは恐ろしいものでな。あれは恐ろしい力を発揮してわらわが首を縦に振らぬ限り
What?
解放せぬと言って
Okay, so it was forced consent
な。
love?
強引な男よ。
Wait,
す
so...
げえじゃねえかよ。じい様がオカルトかぶれなのは誰もが知るところだが、大魔女ベアトリーチェ様を
So,
釘付けにするほど
wait,
の
so
力があったとはな。
he summons Beatrice, gets the money, falls in love, traps her on the island, and refuses to let her go until they fall in love. Damn.
バカバカしい。そんなおかしな
Kinzo's
話
a dick.
信じると思うか。
やはり信じぬか。
俺が信じるの
My
は
magic isn't real.
お前が森
You're
の
just
中
like a
の秘密屋敷
Frankenstein,
に
and that is
隠
not
居していた
magic,
って
that is
事実だけだ。
science. It is a different...
お前
It's
こ
a
そ
different form of magic.
六軒島の中級人目なんだろう。
No. Definitely not.
いかにもそなたの想像通り、ここは六軒島の森深く。
Oh, so that's where this building
外
is.
界からは見つけることもかなわぬ隠し屋敷。
A hidden...
その名も
Nine Birds Retreat? Oh, that's kind of
そうや
cool.
ゲストハウスの正しい名はトライアンだって聞いたな。
Visitors
なるほ
Retreat.
ど。ネーミングセンスは
Wait, so
近
there
いね。
is actually a hidden mansion in the...
そしてお前はそこに隠居していたじい様の愛人。
You know what? This is actually kind of cool. Like, we're getting more details. And that, like, I don't know, the mystery is opening up. Because in the first two episodes, like, they didn't really give you a lot to work with. And then when the mystery, like, was happening, it was like, oh, well, you don't really know what's going on. Because you can't really... You have all these theories, but you need to prove them true. Kind of like the idea that they've been mentioning the devil's proof. That, like, you can't disprove it or prove it. Well, now we're... The devil's proof is now the angel's proof. Okay, that was
So
terrible. I'm sorry. I tried to think of something to, like,
愛
counter it,
人
but it
と
was
いうの
not
は
great.
正しくない。
Oh no, I'm gonna lose subscribers for my bad
金蔵の
jokes.
片思いであったと言うべきだろう。先ほども話したであろう。あれが勝手にわらわに惚れた。 そしてわらわに求愛したが、そしてわらわをこの隠し屋敷へ閉じ込めたのだ。いや、屋敷に閉じ込めたというのは正
But
し
who was in here in the prologue?
この
Because like there
体
was
に
like
閉
the
じ込め
the Walmart bin Beatrice who like solved the problem.
最後が何を言ってるのかわかんねえぜ。
どうせそなたはバカにして聞かぬであろう。何しろ魔女も魔法も信じぬという、語れど聞く耳を持たぬというならば、それを口にするは愚の骨頂だ。
And just like that, okay, actually we're gonna get to see it. Good. I was worried that Battler was just gonna like say I don't want to see it and then I don't
信
get
じ
to
る
see
か
it.
どうかは俺が聞かなきゃ話も進まねえしな。
Oh, still won't
話
move.
せよ。お前の昔話を。
Melody Inst version.
金蔵はわらわに求愛を拒まれたが、それ式でへこたれる男ではない。どうあってもわらわの首を縦に振らせたかった。
Damn, Kidzo's a creep.
わらわをこの屋敷へ閉じ込め、わらわを口説き落とそうと永遠の時間を費やしたのだ。
強引なやつだな。しつこい男は嫌われるだろ。
求愛に応えるかどうかは別にして、男をそこまで必死にさせるのはまあ女としてそう不愉快ではない。しかしわらわは決して首を縦には振らなかった。なんとかその戒めから逃れようとしたが、あれの結界は強固で破れなかった。
それで
さまざまな抵抗を試みた結果、金蔵の結界から逃れるには肉の体を捨てるほかないという結論に至った。肉体というものは魔法を語る上でとても制約の多い
Oh, so basically you died, and then that's probably what
肉の
Rosa saw.
体を捨てる？なんだよそれ。幽体離脱みたいなものか？
まあそんなものと考えればよい。
Which I think it's kind of like the fact that Battle was here, but on Rokenzima as
し
well.
かしわらわは精霊ではない。魔女ではあっても、もともとは肉の体で生まれ落ちた人間だ。
Though honestly, it's kind of confusing to think about the fact that there's like Battle here, but Battle there.
そのわらわにとって肉体を捨てるということは死を意味するほどではないにしても、それに準ずる覚悟が必要だった。
それはつまり自殺することでしか解放されないと決意したって意味なのか？
自殺ではない。あくまでも肉の体を捨てるだけのことだ。
So suicide without being called suicide.
魂だけになるのは心もとない。魂は肉の体を出れば太陽の強い風に絶えずさらされてしまう。それによって吹き散らされないように自らを維持するのはできることなら避けたい最後の手段だった。しかし金蔵の結界から逃れるにはそれしかなかったの。何しろわらわは自由人。金蔵の生が果てるまでカゴにて飼われるのはごめんというもの。
Couldn't understand the story Beto kept going on about throwing away a body of flesh as anything more than a suicide. Grandfather persistently courted her, and to escape from that, she chose her own death.
それで自殺したってのか？何を言ってやがる。当のお前はそこでのんびりガーデンチェアに腰掛けてるじゃねえか。
そうだ、それこそが金蔵によって与えられた。
檻？この屋敷のことか？
違う。そこのガーデンチェアにてくつろぐわらわの体の
Oh. Oh, wait. Wait, yeah, if you think about it, she like turns into butterflies. That was probably like... I don't know if this makes sense, but like her soul being put in a body? I don't know.
魂と
Oh,
して
well,
抜け出そうとした
I think I guessed right on the
それ
money
で
for
も
that.
脳を逃すつもりはなかったのだ。いやいや恐ろしいやつ。普通は片思いの女が死んでみせれば100年の恋も冷めるであろうに。だからこそあれも魔術師の端くれなのか。
さっぱりわからねえ魔女っ子トークで煙に巻くな。
Which go
つ
talk?
まりなんだってんだ。
金蔵は魂となったわらわすらも逃さなかったということだ。人間の思いというやつは恐ろしい。これほどまでの魔力を発揮するとは。死者の魂をつなぎ止めるなど、それを専門に弓道する魔術師でもおいそれ
Wait, so
と
how
至
did
れ
he
ぬ
do it?
境地。
I'm kind of curious.
わらわはそれを知るからこそ、金蔵の恐るべき魔力にその時初めて驚愕した。そして金蔵はわらわの魂を捕まえ、だが魂を捕らえておく檻は鉄でも鉛でも作れない。
It was made
た
from
だ
love.
一つを除いて。
なんだよ、魔法の檻だとでも言い出すのかよ。
違う。わらわやそなたのようなこの肉と血でできた檻だけが魂をこの世につなぎ止める。
Wait, so does this make Kinzo like the first ever yandere?
金蔵はわらわの魂を
Oh my
わらわ
god.
とウリ二つに作り
Yeah,
上
by the way,
げ
that
た
was my
肉
attempt to
の
laugh,
檻に
but it was just coughs.
再び閉じ込めたのだ。
要約するとこういうことか。じい様がしつこく求愛するんで嫌になり自殺したが、うまく死にきれなかったってことだろ。回りくどい言い方しやがってからに。
いいや違う。わらわはホムンクルスの種子に魂を閉じ込められ、試験管の中より生まれ入れたのだ。
はあ？バ
Nani?
カバカしい。そんなのあるわけねえだろ。
生命を生み出す奇跡すらも
Wait,
金
what?
蔵は成し遂げたのだ。
Sorry, I saw the test tube thing, but like I thought that was kind of already established. But now that I think about it, he made a person.
わらわの魂を閉じ込める檻にするためだけにな。己の恋心だけでこれほどの魔力を見せるとは。
Wait, I think it's time to find a new
つ
lady
くづく恐ろ
if
し
you're
い
gonna be
やつ
doing all that.
ああ、もうさすがにバカバカしくなってきたぜ。好きなだけ言ってろってんだ。俺は何も信じねえぜ。勝手にやってやがれってんだ。
なんだその不愉快な態度は。
最初は
Battle being
何か
rude.
重大なヒントが隠されているだろうと多少の興味を示したが、聞けば聞くほどおかしな話になっていく。魔女を否定するゲームのはずなのに、いつの間にか魔女話を鵜呑みにさせられていく気がするぜ。悪いがこれ以上耳を貸す気はねえな。
Wait, what?
勝手に好きなだけほざいてろよ。耳クソでもほじってるからよ。
So I'm not gonna get. When I started showing a cold attitude, Bito acted unusually discouraged. Of course, her expression was still brazen, but I had the feeling that I was able to catch a glimpse of loneliness because I hadn't found the story of her past interesting. This is like the equivalent of saying to like the video game NPC who's telling you their backstory, just, nah, I don't care. For some reason, the slight reaction made her seem pitiful. Or even so, I could. Oh my god, are we gonna have a Beatrice redemption arc? I decided to humor her slightly. Damn it, even though she's in irritating words, I'm still weak against her because of her chromosomes or XX.
ま、信じる気は毛頭ねえけどよ。続けろよ。お茶菓子代わりに聞いてやるぜ。
わらわの身の上話が茶化扱いとはな。
Well, I mean, both are. I don't
そ
know.
こまでこき下ろされてまでのこのこ語ると思うか。
Exactly. After I made fun of her Beethoven, I don't think I've ever seen her act like this before. It looked like even though making fun of people was her specialty, she was horrible at being made of. Wait, since when? I think they're becoming friends. Just then, my cup of black tea suddenly made a sound surprising me.
お嬢様の魂は捕らえられ、それはつまりお嬢様が再び人間として生を受けたということです。
Before I'd realized that the demon butler had appeared and taken my cup and was adding more black tea to
ど
it.
の上もうその話はよい。こやつはバカバカしくて危険というでな。わらわもバカバカしくて話す気にもならん。
新しいクッキーを今、
Yeah.
お茶菓
Honestly,
子
when
の
I'm done recording, I'm gonna go
お
have a
嬢様
cookie.
の昔話が
If I can actually
ちょう
hold
どい
it
い
down.
かと思いまして
もうわらわの話は良いというのに、揃って不愉快な奴らだ。 わらわは席を外すぞ。
Oh my.
どの上給仕を済ませたらとっとと下がるのだぞ。バトラと無駄話などするでないぞ。
What? Why are you acting like this, Elvis? You were supposed to be like the witch who like makes fun of people and never gets made. No, she's like one of those people who. Well, it's like one of those anime people who when they Okay, that's already a terrible start to the joke. But you know what I mean? Like loves to get made fun of, but then when they get made fun of, loves to make fun of other people when they get made fun of, they like suddenly bless.
かしこまりました。努力いたします。
So seriously, we could like vanquish the Golden Witch with insults. Bito's confusing female short temper took hold of her as he turned her body into golden butterfly. Yeah, we just have to tell her that she sucks and then she goes away. After that, only Rudolf and the scent of the black tea were left.
なんだか俺が怒らせたみたいで。
ご自覚があられるようですので、これ以上申し上げることはございませんよ。
ちょっと待てよ。とどめを刺したのはお前だろうが。
はて、何のことやら。お砂糖とミルクはいかがですかな。
I would love some
ミ
cinnamon
ルク
milk.
だけでいいぜ。あとお茶菓子も欲しいな。
Always finally having
ク
the
ッキ
cookies.
ーが焼けるにはまだ時間がかかりますよ。
チャカの代わりがあるって言ったぜ。
かしこまりました。ご清聴をいただけるのでしたら。
Oh no, he's gonna tell the story. And that was kind of weird how we just
ホ
kind
モ
of
ンクルス
forced
が
her
なんと
away.
かって言ったな。一応は知ってるぜ。あれだろ、錬金術だかで作り出せ人造人間のことだろ。
Oh.
はい。お嬢様の魂はホムンクルスに閉じ込められ、再びしかし赤子でございますから、金蔵様が愛を語ろうともそれは。
Yeah.
まさかじい様はその赤ん坊をこの隠し屋敷に同じ年に成長するまで閉じ込めたってのか。
はい。
Okay. The thing about this episode, I'm loving the backstory, but Kinjo's a fucking creep.
そのまさかでございます。
Oh my god.
しかし魂は同じといえど、人間の魂は
Like
その
damn.
妻に
He
強く
made a
影響を
person,
受けます。
locked them in like a house until they said that they were in love, and then she's like, "Oh, I think of you as my dad." That's really fucked up.
かつての記憶をすべて失われ、ごく普通の人間の少女として成長されま
Is
した。
that why she talks different too?
それが、そこのガーデンチェアに座ってるベアートだってのか。
はい、その通りでございます。まさに売り二つに成
Wait, but
長
doesn't
な
this
され
like
ました。
prove that magic is real?
しかし魔女としての
Oh, God.
力は持ち合わせておりません。
So freaking hurt, didn't I
あくまで
magic?
も
Like,
人間として
I
の
know I
お嬢
keep
様
saying that, like
で
I'm
す。
thinking of it as two separate arguments, and that's like my excuse, but this game makes it very difficult. Vito, who was sitting in the golden chair looking up at the sky, asked the same question again. She asked who she was. The meaning of those words was finally starting to click. She couldn't understand why she was living here or locked up. Grandfather had seized Beatrice's soul, set it up in a body of flesh, and then set that up in a hidden mansion. However, since he had lived there since the time she was born, she couldn't even understand who she was, or why she lived set up in there. But seriously, that's kind of cool. Like, when I went into this, I didn't understand a thing, but now that it's kind of just makes sense after explaining. Who would take such a stupid story seriously? Why don't I change my interpretation? Essentially, couldn't it be something like this? Grandfather met Beatrice, he then fell in love and courted her up, but she didn't nod her head in agreement, and so she got angry and set her up inside this hidden mansion. Beatrice tried to escape, but no matter what she did, she couldn't succeed, so she finally chose her own death. Well, that's kind of what we were thinking anyway. Maybe there was a girl that looked just like Beatrice. No, a baby. And Grandfather raised this child with care. But maybe Grandfather didn't view this child as his daughter. Set my soul up once more into the cage of flesh. Those words probably meant that he didn't view this kid as her child, but as her reincarnation. Maybe that's what it meant. If you interpret it that way, even a story that weird might make a little sense. No. This might be some bullshit Bito cooked up to confuse me. As if I could accept any of this. In the first place, Kudorian, was it? There's no proof whatsoever that this hidden mansion actually existed. Couldn't this just be something that just got fabricated? Yeah, there was no red. If the story was in red.
六軒島の森の中にはクワドリアンという
Never
隠
mind.
し屋敷が
It exists.
実
It's
在しま
real.
す。それが今話をしていた場所
Oh,
です。
but he didn't say that in red. Oh. Say the other thing in red, please. Rudolf used red to say the Kandorian actually existed. Did he?
これでも悪魔の端くれでございますの。お嬢様には内緒にしてくださいね。
I wonder if Battle could also use red. Bito, who knew I was trying to trip her up, had grown extremely cautious when using red. To think Rudolf could also use that red. Of course, it's the red of a crafty man. I don't know how far I can accept it, but anyway, I might be. Yeah, he didn't finish the sentence. That doesn't mean we were talking about the same place.
真実なのか？
はい。
Sorry, I had to
真
cough.
実です。かつて実際にこの場所でお二人はこのような会話をなされました。
Wait, but you never said that it's the same place. You just said this place.
助かるぜ。さらに赤で頼む。あいつホムンクルスから生まれたなんて言いやがったが。
Oh my god, though, he's helping. He's a bro.
そんな非科学的な魔法的存在、実在するのか？
その問いかけにはお答えできません。理由はステイルメイトになるからでございます。
ステイルメイト？なんだそり
ゃ。Oh.
チェスの用語で千日でのパーペチュアルと同意、それ以上のゲーム進行が不可能になる宣言です。これは千日手とは正反対。
Well, yeah, if you told me that it doesn't exist or does, then
指し手がな
that
く
kind
な
of
る
answers it.
ある種の手詰まりの状態を指します。パーペチュアルに同じでチェスではこれを引き分けにしております。ただしお嬢様とバトラ様のゲームではですので、ステイルメイトになる質問には。
よくわからねえこと言って煙に巻いてるが、つまりホムンクルスなんて魔法的存在が実在するって？
仮に私が赤で魔女は実在すると言う。
Say, yeah.
それを信じるか信じないかで、それを言われちまったら身も蓋もないぜ。
Though, I mean, he could just, like, end this. Yeah, no more
魔女は
Umineko.
存在すると赤で申し上げたなら、しかしバトラ様はその理由が示されない以上、それを
Wait,
受
but
け入れない
like I
でしょう。
keep saying, that wouldn't answer the question. You would have to say in red, witches caused all the murders on Rokenzima. Every single person died due to a witch.
しかし赤で語られる以上、反論の余地もなく、証拠も示されない。
Or then we could turn the game into which witch killed wits.
この場合、
I'm
バ
so
トラ
funny.
様は敗北を認められないにもかかわらず、反論の手がなく手詰まりとなってしまいます。チェックメイトされていないにもかかわらず、次なる指し手が存在しない。バトラ様が次の一手を打てない以上、お嬢様に手番が回ってくることは、ゲームはそこで永遠に
Damn, they
止ま
love
ってし
talking about chess.
その結果、お嬢様があなたを屈服させることもできない。これが手詰まりの状態です。それを回避するため、このような形になるご質問には赤でお答えすることができないのです。
早い話が、身も蓋もない質問は禁止だと。まあそりゃそうだよな。赤で魔女は実在するって言われちまったら。
ご理解いただけて助かり、他の形の質問でしたらご協力でき
Dude,
るか
you
と
owe
思い
me
ます。
apology cookies for that.
奴がはぐらかした副将この島の人数だ。
お嬢様が保留されている副賞要求にもお嬢様の家具でございますので。
Rudolf made an exaggerated gesture, trying to act like a royal retainer. This guy's so shameless.
一瞬でも使えるやつと思ったの。諦めて他の質問を。そうだ、大事なことを確認するのを忘れてた。これはベアとの思い出話なんだろ？いつの話なんだ？まさか現在ってことはないだろう。
はい、ここは1967年の世界、19年前の世界で。
Wait, 19 years ago? Let's go through the story. Ah, it's like the Spider-Man thing. I wonder if it couldn't be something like this. By Spider-Man thing, I'm referencing Spider-Verse movies. Grandfather had a person whom he fell in unrequited love called Beatrice. As he confined her in the hidden mansion and continually courted her, but she was stubborn and didn't say yes. Eventually, she grew pessimistic about being unable to escape from here, and probably committed suicide. Oh god, this is kind of like Mario if, like, Mario never got saved by Peach. Peach never got saved by Mario, sorry, I had that other way around. And then her soul was put in a homunculus, and no, if I accept that, it's the same as accepting the wits. I can't interpret that part like this. She probably left a daughter behind when she died. That talk about the soul being put in a new body probably meant that grandfather raised the child believing it to be the reincarnation of Beatrice. In that case, Beato must have existed on this island for at least the last 19 years, and as the 19th Of course they did 19 and 19. Oh my god, yeah, no, I'm like struggling to figure this out.
混乱してきたぜ。
My thoughts exactly. It may be because I'm sick and tired, or it may be because
いずれにせ
genuinely
よ
confused.
憶測の域を出ない。確実に赤で言えることは、1967年の六軒島の隠し屋敷に、それだけだ。
その通りでございます。1967年の六軒島の隠し屋敷に。
Okay.
人間。
ああ、サンキュー。助かるぜ。
Thank you.
おめでとうございます。これでバトラ様の19人目の駒は、その存在がはっきりしました。
Oh, so the
バトラ
19th.
様が熱望された18人以外に罪をなすりつけられる19人目の人間。
You need to say in red that there are 19 people
いかな
currently
る
on
罪を
Rokenjima.
なすりつけることが
Because I
でき
mean,
る。
we've proven that Beatrice existed at one point. But does that mean that she still exists?
それがお嬢様とは実に愉快。
Or is this entire thing an acid trip? Rudolf laughed indistinctly. Somehow I didn't like his phrasing, and so I didn't feel like laughing along with him. Ha ha ha.
ローザおばさんは言った。ベアトリーチェは死んだ。私が殺した。どういう意味なんだ。
Yeah, I forgot about that.
それは私の口から語るよりも実際に少々時計を進めましょう。
Rudolf pulled a stylish pocket watch from his pocket and made to wind the crown. As soon as he did, I saw gold butterflies gather behind Rudolf's back and take the form of a person. Oh. Was it Bito? I quickly realized it was someone else. It was her. The oldest sister of the Seven Stakes who loved tormenting me more than anything else. Oh, this is awkward. If I don't think myself lucky to see that sexy ass, I won't be able to... Okay, then.
ロノウェ様、まだこちらにおられましたか。ベアトリーチェ様が至急お呼びです。
はて、至急のどのようなご用やら。少々、バトラ様とのおしゃべりが過ぎたようですね。それではバトラ様、私めはどうか引き続き
せいぜい楽しむぜ。
Ah, yes, he escaped just before he was about to reveal too
ベアとより
much.
話が弾むからな。赤も気前よく使ってくれるしよ。ぜひまたおしゃべりに来いよな。
バトラ様、私めもこう見えてもお嬢様の家具、お嬢様が望まぬことはできませんよ。私が語った赤は本来ならお嬢様が自らの口で語るべきもの。へそを曲げてしまわれたお嬢様に代わって赤き真実を披露したに過ぎません。
やっぱあれ
Like a substitute
へ
teacher.
そを曲げてたよな。
Seeing me and Rudolph incomprehensibly hitting it off, the Seven Stake chick cocked her head slightly.
ロノウェ様、ベアトリーチェ様をお待たせしており、お急ぎを。
ええ、直ちに参ります。それではバトラ様、後ほどようやく仲良くなれてきましたね。やはり良い友人になれる気がします。
ベアとの陰口仲間ってことならな。
ロノウェ様。
はいはい、それでは失礼いたします。
There he goes. Maybe it was because he really didn't like seeing him act friendly with me, or maybe it was because he had been really told to hurry. The Seven Stakes babe bellowed simply at Rudolph as he followed foolishly and disappeared as if running away. Oh my god, I still have to cough.
煉獄の七杭が長女のこの私がこの程度の用事で呼びつけられるなんて。ベアトリーチェ様もこの程度なら他の暇そうな妹たちに言いつければいいのに。
何をカリカリしてんだよね。腹減ってんならクッキーでも食えよ。最後の一枚をくれてやるぜ。
気が利くじゃない。なら一ついただこうかしら。
Oh, they're gonna start dating now? I lightly pushed the snack plate with the last remaining cookie on it over to her.
ありがとう。
Oh! As though she was coming as a replacement for the period at the end of a sentence, a sharp sound pierced the table. The nails of 3 of her fingers had sharply extended and were stuck. A hair was breathed into the gaps between my fingers on the hand, and I had to push the plate. It happened in an instant, so for a while I didn't even realize that her fingernails had grown. The tips of those sharp nails are like blade. Oh! As the space between the bases of my fingers were prickled. Those razor-like blades were sticking sharply into the back of my hand. Damn! By those 3 blades, my carelessly outstretched— oh god, I gotta cough. Okay, I'm back. Sorry for interrupting the dialogue there. I just started coughing non-stop.
他の面汚しな愚昧どもとはわけが違うの。それに見合った敬意を示さないと後悔することになるわよ。
Okay, so one of them can actually take things seriously.
どう後悔するんだか。俺には見当もつかねえぜ。
バカな子ね。そんなに遊んでほしいの？そんなに忘れられないの？私の悔いを思いっきり奥の奥までねじ込んで、たっぷりえぐって楽しませてあげるわよ。
Doesn't sound like fun.
くそったれ。いつか押し倒して同じセリフ言ってやるぜ。
あらそう？楽しみにしてるわね。
I think she's a nice lady. I accept this. Okay then. Very strange cut. Okay, though I think I'm gonna take a break here just because I cannot stop coughing. So, yeah, I will be back in just a sec. Alright, so I am back. Sorry about that. I honestly could not stop coughing, so now I should be good to go. This is a few days later, by the way. That's kind of why my voice sounds a little bit different. And yeah, let's continue. Rosa eventually regained her calm. Just like I just did. The men wanted to hurry her into talking faster, but Kiri intervened. If something like she had just mentioned really had happened, it was an abominable past that she wouldn't want to remember. After taking several deep breaths with her hand over her chest, it seemed that she had more or less gathered the resolve to talk. Now tell me a story.
あれはいくつの時だったのかしら。多分中学生か。よく覚えてない。とにかくそのくらいの頃だったと思うわ。
About middle school years old.
ってことは
Definitely an age.
だいたい20年くらい前ってとこか。
あの頃の私はあまり成績が良くなくて、私なりに努力していたつもりだったんだけど、お母様の期待には全然応えられなくて。
母上はローザにも随分厳しかったな。当時は同情していたよ。
What do you mean you sympathized? You never sympathized with any of your siblings.
陰口ばっかだったくせ
Yeah,
に。
exactly. We went through the, oh, they hated the stupid idiot Rosa, and then she ate them.
予算かエバ。それでローザさんはどこでベアトリーチェに会ったんや。
秀吉さん、今はせかしてはダメよ。いいのよ、ローザさん。楽に話して。
ありがとう。
Okay, at least someone's calm about
あ
this.
れはお母様に特にひどく叱られた日よ。
Even though my tutor had promised to keep it a secret, apparently they told Mother about how I had complained. Oh, that's sad. My mother scolded me horribly, saying that I was a disgrace to the Yoshima. Honestly, both Kinzo and his wife were dicks. Of course, I was doing the best I could, but I had none of Kraus Nissan's dignity. I couldn't get excellent grades like Eva Nissan, and I had no leadership like Rudolf Nissan. I never stood out, didn't particularly excel at anything, and I had almost wanted to ask myself why I'd even been born to the Ushiromia family. I didn't know why I had been born. On that day, I had experienced my mind going blank for the first time. For the first time since I was born, I realized that in addition to facing or surrendering to my problems, I had the third choice. Sincere Curry moment. What's wrong with running away? Even though I say run away, there was no way I could have left Rokenzima and gone somewhere else. But anyway, oh, maybe she like goes out into the forest. In a way, it was like running away from home, or maybe a half-hearted suicide.
いなくなりたかったの。あるいはいなくなることによって親を心配させたいという子供なりの反抗だったのかも。私は森の遥か奥に行けば後ろ宮の家から逃れられる。あるいは迷子になって心配させることで仕返しができると。子供
それで行ってはいけないと言われていた森に。
Exactly.
ええ、浜辺へ出てから海に沿うように。特に理由があったわけじゃないけれど、島をぐるりと回ればその反対側には誰も知らない場所があって、
And sure enough, there
私だ
was.
けの隠れ家になるような気がしたの。
浜辺からぐるっとってのは無理だな。途中で崖になっちまうだろう。あんなとこ通れるわけがねえぜ。
もちろんよ。だから通れる方へ通れる方へと道なんかないひどい森だったけど、あの時の私にはそれが心地よかったの。それほどの険しい森を抜けたなら、その分後ろ宮家から逃れられるって、そんな気持ちだったの。
Made you feel good escaping into the dark forest?
情けないわね。成績で叱られたならその分努力すればいいのに。
Oh my god, Eva, shut the fuck up.
それを言ってはいいかも。
I was sympathizing with you earlier, but I'm not gonna sympathize with you again.
その代わりローザにはデザイナーとしての才能があったじゃ
And
ない。
why is Kraus being uncharacteristically nice? Literally, this could be taken as him covering for Rosa, but everyone knew that Rosa's company was not making any profits.
よせよ。今は嫌味を言ってる場合じゃねえぜ。そして偶然たどり着いちまったんだ。ベアトリーチェの隠し屋敷。
Beatrice's hidden mansion. I'm honestly surprised they were able to figure that out, like, by themselves. Like, these guys do not have a great IQ.
どのくらい歩いたんや。地図で場所が示せるんか。
Do
なて
you
さ
have a map?
この島の地図はあるかいな。
いえ、今ここにはありませんが。
無理よ。適当に歩いただけだもの。地図を見せられたってわからないわ。
Oh, wow.
それにあれから20年も経ってる。
Imagine like, getting that
多分
lucky.
でも二度とたどり着けないわ。
Several people let out a dejected sighs. It was vividly clear that in their haste, they had thought that some hint related to the witch's epitaph, maybe even the gold itself, might be resting there in the hidden
特
mansion.
権島はこの屋敷の周りが整地されているだけに過ぎねえ。他は完全に未開で前頭測量は相当の手間がかかるだろうな。
でも確かに存在すると分かっただけでも収穫よ。
Yeah, no, we're getting a lot of info.
お金はかかるだろうけど、例えば航空写真の会社に調査を頼むとか。
Wait, why didn't they do that before?
このお屋敷を建設した
Like,
業
I
者
know
に
they
当時
weren't
の
thinking
ことを
about
聞
it,
く
but
とか。
they could have. Like, to find the money
調べる方法あ
to
るか
solve
もし
the
れないね。
epitaph.
そうね。あるかないかもわからないものを探すよりはまだ方法があるはずよ。
早速調べる価値があるだろう。
その調査は兄弟合同でやるわよ。
We saw
兄
the
さん
siblings
一人では
united.
させないわ。
It wasn't certain that the gold was hidden in the secret mansion, but it seemed that the fireworks between Kraus and Eva had already begun.
兄貴たち、
Lovely.
今はよせよ。
Never mind about the United comment, by the
Rosa.
way.
続きを
Whoever would have
話して
thought that Rudolf would be the one, like, helping? Rudolf and Kiri. Absolute bros. Side chorus? Blindly, randomly, I kept running on and on. Suddenly, it felt like I'd come across something like an animal trail. I had no idea how far I'd walked, and I was very tired, so by then I was just naturally taking the easiest path to walk on. As I did, suddenly right before my eyes, a very, very tall fence appeared. It was a fence wonderfully adorned in the Gothic style. For an instant, I spun around thinking that it might have returned to the original mansion. Of course, there were fences around the mansion to stop us from entering the forest, but this fence was decorated differently, and most of all, it was very tall. It probably reached a full 2 stories up. It was covered with ivy and created a mysterious, solemn atmosphere. At the time, I believed the legend of the witch of the forest, Beatrice. I had been told that she was frightening, but some of the servants told me that she would sometimes help if you respected her. Since I had started to lose confidence in how my life was going, I believed that the only way I could be saved was by receiving her help. So that's what made me think. I believed that this was the fence of the mansion of Beatrice, the witch of the forest. I thought that if I could meet with Beatrice, she would definitely save me. So I thought I would try to go in. But the fence was very, very tall, and it didn't look like I could go over it. So I decided to walk around. I thought that if I did, I would eventually reach a gate. But it wasn't that. Yeah, it doesn't sound easy. The fence had a length to match its height, and no matter how far I went, it didn't reach a corner. It might have been enclosed in a massive area. Or maybe it just felt that way because my tired legs made it difficult to walk in the forest. Anyway, because I couldn't find the gate for a while, I started to feel sad, as though the witch had rejected me. As I did, I eventually came upon a large tree whose twisted roots had bent the fence. I might get my clothes dirty, but if I crawled, it looked like I'd be able to sneak in.
そこが隠し屋敷だったの。
あれが私たちの言う隠し屋敷なのかは分からん。でも少なくとも私たちの知る場所ではなかったわ。
It was. Oh, that's actually a pretty view. That'd make a good desktop wallpaper, actually. It wasn't as though I came out into a garden as soon as I passed the fence. I had to continue through a lot more uncultivated forest after that. And then, the forest suddenly opened up, and what appeared there was an unbelievable, fantastical scene. To think that Valkenzima was where I believe no other than us lived, had been hiding such a wonderful mansion. A beautiful flower garden spanned the front of the mansion. It was a flower garden of completely different design from the rose garden we know so well, and was very lovely. Of course the mansion was also wonderful. Yes, wonderful and lovely. It was 1 or 2 sizes smaller than ours, but it was a very elegant and yet a lovely mansion. Kinjo's Pleasure Palace. Then, I saw her. I saw her sitting in a garden's hair, positioned to give a view of the flower garden, wearing an elegant dress. It was a black dress embroidered in gold that we would later know from that portrait. I hadn't seen an elegant dress like that except in fairy tales and on the stage of musicals. That a person would be wearing it as their normal clothes, that in itself seemed quite fantastical. The magic scene was enough to make me lose my sense of reality. If someone had told me that it was a dream, I might have nodded obediently and waited to wake up in my bed. Since in my sock I had forgotten to hide myself, she eventually noticed me. At first her expression was quite listless, but when she noticed me, her eyes opened very wide. It was only natural. I guess that she didn't know had suddenly appeared. I automatically bowed my head, feeling that I should greet her and apologize for entering without permission.
そなたは誰か新しい庭師なのか
Those were the first words she said to me. That calmed me down a little bit, because I realized that she could be talked with. Because I hadn't been turned into a frog just by meeting her eyes, like the terrifying witch in the fairy tale.
ごめんなさい。勝手にお庭に立ち入って。
そなたは誰か名乗るがよい。
後宮ローザと言います。
後宮。ほう。金蔵の一族の人間なのか？
はい、金蔵の娘です。こんにちは。
Konnichiwa, after just being in a garden with a witch. I was just a little surprised. After all, father was a great man feared by everyone, as she had referred to him without using honorifics, so she quickly became frightened. After all, if she could refer to my fearsome father that way, she must be a witch with incredible power. After staring at me curiously, she beckoned me to come over to her, and I obeyed, although filled with belated trepidation. After all, I thought I really might be turned into a frog. And then the closer and closer I got, the stronger that fear became. After all, I said it several times already, but that woman in a dress in the flower garden in the mansion, that entire harmony was so fantastical and beautiful that it seemed separate from reality. It surely wouldn't have surprised me if she was an actual witch. And I was truly lucky. She didn't turn me into a frog. And as I awkwardly stood there sock still, she motioned to an open chair and urged me to sit down. Oh my god, this would also make a good wallpaper. Tea with Beatrice. As she said that, she showed an unhappy smile for just an instant. Because I was full of strange mix of tension and excitement, I rudely asked her a question suddenly. Wow. Just admitted it. Yeah, well, with this new information, Beatrice did exist. But like I said, we're talking about the now murders. So, I feel like this is a trick. Like, this entire episode is a kind of like the Watanagasi hen of Umineko. I feel like this entire episode is gonna push that it's most likely Beatrice and that she's still alive. But it's not actually her. Because obviously, like, they want me to think that, but I'm not gonna think that.
ええ、まさにあの肖像画の通りよ。
お父さんの想像の中の魔女じゃなかったんやな。
What does it mean she was a witch?
それであなたは彼女と
I
何
mean,
を
if I
話し
was
たの
locked in some place for like so long, I'd probably just make it up.
彼女はお茶を入れながら私のことをいろいろと聞いたわ。まず森を抜けてやってきたことを驚かれた。彼女は柵の外には危険な狼がたくさんいると信じていたみたいだった。
Oh.
だから
Oh wait.
私が森を抜けてたどり着いた
I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about the ending of last episode compared to that statement.
どうやって狼から逃れたのか、ビスケットを渡して許してもらったのか、それとも魔法の街灯をかぶってなんて感じのことを言ってたっけ。
そりゃ確かに魔女っぽいわな。面白いお人や。
あなた黙って。ずいぶん昔だけど、お父様は森には狼が住んでいるから近寄ってはならないって。
ああ、そんなこともあったな。バカらしいね。日本の狼はとっくの昔に絶滅しているというの。
Oh.
まさに子供だ。
Yeah, I was gonna say that's like a really
記憶にねえ
not
な。
a good trick.
そんな話。おや、森には魔女だろ。狼なんて話聞いたことないぜ。
あんたがまだ小学校だった頃よ。覚えてない？そしたらあんた、むしろ狼を撫でてみたいなんて言い出すもんだ。お父様はすぐに狼の話を引っ込めて魔女の話に切り替えたのよ。もうその嘘っぽいことと言ったら。
In retrospect. Honestly, Kinzo's an idiot. Like, I have to admit, out of all the characters in Umineko, there isn't like a single character I, at the moment, like, dislike as a character except Kinzo, but not because, like, he's not well written, it just, he's a dick. That's all there is to it. He was obsessed with a witch, locked her in some random place, like, traumatized his children. Like, he's responsible for all of this.
ルドルフさんにもそんな可愛らしい時代があったのね。
うるせえな。子供の頃の話だぜ。
And to think that Battle like isn't even here.
まあとにかく。
Like, I mean, I'm probably because I'm so used to Higurashi, like all the protagonists are like always there.
ベアトリーチェを閉じ込めていたのがお父
I
さん
forget
だ
that
が
like side character
同じ
conversations
狼
can
の
exist.
話をするのは道理ね。彼にとって六軒島の広大な森は後宮家と愛人の屋敷という相入れない二つの異世界を分断する越えてはならない壁だったのだから。
I think they'd be pretty compatible. I mean, you put her portrait everywhere.
親父殿は庭ごと丸々を座敷牢にしたようだな。
What do you know? It is horny Joe.
二つの世界を分ける国
Okay,
境
let's
も
stop with
同
the
然
jokes
だ
about
った
that.
だろう。
狼はともかく
It just, I can't tell whether to laugh or be creeped out.
そのための策だったかもしれません。六軒島に狼も野犬もいないわ。
Except for the one stray dog that lives in
そ
the
の
forest.
策は兄さんやキリエさんの言うようにベアトリーチェと私たちの間の国境だったんでしょうね。
しかし狼の話を素直に信じるなんて
Oh shit, yeah, you're right.
純朴やな。
Beatrice isn't that stupid.
わしの想像していた魔女とは随分違う感じやで。
Oh my god, what if Batterer wins the argument? Wolves.
そう
So,
ね
turns to the 19th person. There's a bunch of savage wolves located on Rokenshima that are eating people. Because yeah, every character dies when they wander away. So, yeah, so episode 2, Jessica's locked room can be explained by a wolf breaking through the door, biting them both, and then they drag Cannon's corpse away. Yeah, it all
それ
makes
は
sense now.
私も感じたわとても尊大で確かに魔女
It
の
couldn't
イメ
have been a
ージ通りの人だ
witch.
ったんだ
It
けど
was wildlife.
どこか
Nature is
と
the
ても子
enemy.
供っぽくてなんていうのか素直すぎるというか世間知らずな印象を受けたわ例えるなら本当におとぎの国の人みたいというか
From a fairy tale land.
本当に不思議な人だったわ
それからどうしたんだ。親父の話とかは出たのかい。
ええ何日かに一度約束されている日もあればふらりとお父様が訪れては一緒にお茶を飲んだり
Drink tea
散歩したり
together.
したんですって私が訪れたその日はたまたま彼女一人だったと言っていたわ
If you weren't by yourself, you would have been. Kinzo would have murdered you, probably.
なるほどな。まさに愛人といったところだ。やれやれ、いくつ年下か知らんが、親父殿もやるね。
いかがわしい意味での交流はなかったと隠しバカね。男と女の多さに色気がないはずないじゃない。
Yeah, especially on a hidden mansion.
それでどうしたの？それから何の話を？
私の自己紹介をしたので逆に彼女のことを質問したわそうしたら急に雰囲気が落ち込んでしまったの
Oh.
なんていうのかとても気だるそうな私が初めて彼女の顔を見た時に浮かべていたのと
まあ、秘密の愛人だからな。好き勝手に歩かれて、お袋に見つかっちまったらことだ。きっと軟禁に近い状態だったろう。綺麗なドレスに、綺麗な屋敷や庭があっても、さぞや窮屈な思いをしてたんだろうぜ。そりゃ苦労もあったろうさ。それで
彼女はきっと何か悩んで
Definitely something on her mind. I think we have like figured out 5 things on her mind.
何の解決にもならない
Something is an understatement.
私もとても悲しかったのを覚えてる
Oh, it's something else.
私と一緒にいることさえ忘れてしまったかのようで遠くをぼんやり見ながら私はきっと出現してしまったに違いないと思ったんだけど謝罪の言葉すらも口にしていいような雰囲気じゃなくてだから私も彼女が私と一緒にいることを思い出してくれるま
She
で
was having flashbacks. Once he did, she muttered unexpectedly.
柵の向こうには本当に狼などおらぬのか？
Oh,
はい狼なんて動物園でも見たことないです
動物園とは何か？
ああいろんな動物が飼われていると
she's
ころ
gonna
です
go to the zoo.
象とか
Man, she's gonna
キ
see
リンと
some
か
animals.
パンダとか
By the way, I doubt anyone will ever get that
珍しい動物が
reference, but if you
いっぱいい
do,
ますよ。
you know what I'm talking about.
動物園におならその怖くないかもしれんな。
狼がいたとしても動物はみんな檻に入ってますから安全ですだから安心して見学できるんですよ
The witch of the forest of all people was for some reason scared of and didn't like wolves. I remember it looked pretty That face is comical.
それはわらわとどう違う？
Oh. She didn't even know about zoos. I explained how fun zoos could be, but it was very difficult to get a person like her. We're gonna plan a Beatrice breakout. Quite the opposite, as I explained to her, her expression grew increasingly dismal. She couldn't see the difference. It seemed as though this mansion surrounded by a high fence appeared at glance to afford her completely provided for a life of comfort. She couldn't see how she was different from the animals set up in cages.
わらわは何者な皆はわらわのことをベアトリーチェと呼ぶ。それは確かにそなたの言うように偉大な魔女の名前らしい。しかしわらわには魔法など何も使えぬ。わらわはその魔女の魂を。
There was definitely something mysterious about her. It wasn't just that she was somehow at odds with the world, but seems that she truly believed that something called magic actually exists. Preposterous. I think she talked about various weird things, but I don't remember the details. Although, this might be a pitiful person. She was unable to leave this mansion of her own will, a prisoner without even realizing it. And she didn't know anything about the outside world, didn't even understand who she was. She probably vaguely understood herself that she was pitiful. But since he didn't know anything, it seemed that she couldn't realize that this was unhappiness. Nissan, long ago, when I told you this, that I felt sorry for the bird in the cage, I remember you said this to me. A bird that only knows the inside of the cage doesn't long for the outside. But she wasn't. It's like the frog in the well poem. She was ultimately a human. Even if she hadn't been outside the cage, she understood that a lot of Rika similarities. So, I invited her.
柵の外へ出てみますか。本当に狼はいないのか。いないですよ。絶対平気ですから。出たいぞ。だがいつも門は閉まっている。私が入ってきたところがあります。くぐり抜けられる隙間があるんです。そこを抜ければ外の世界があるのか。はい。狼は
Watch there be
本
wolves.
当にいない。はい、いませんよ。
I only planned to invite her for a short walk, but she kept looking over her shoulder at the mansion as though she was seriously deliberating over something. Then I learned she was preparing herself, what she was preparing herself for.
わらわはもうここ外へ。そしてわらわが何者で、この世界はどうなっていて。
Believe me, you do not want to know what's happening in this world. Like, turn the
わらわ
news
は
off.
何のために生まれてきたのか。
It's not great. Though it's okay because you only get 600 posts, 600 whatever on Twitter. I don't know, it's stupid. I didn't know what her life had been like that until then. It was probably something that she couldn't express easily. If it was her, she just had to say that she wanted to escape. If it was sweet, she just had to say that she would stay. To liken it to something, perhaps it was similar to how a hot fireplace on a winter day makes the air get thicker and thicker, giving you a headache. Even though you know that you shouldn't be you shouldn't keep things the way they are, you still need the courage to open the window and be tormented by the cold wind. She was starting to realize that she couldn't stay there forever. She was starting to realize that she had to go outside. Yes, she has to touch grass, but since she didn't know about the outside world, to take the first step outside must require an unimaginable amount of courage. Sorry, back to coughing, I'm back. And she had taken it into consideration and resolved herself. She had put the resolution to go outside into words for what was surely the first time in her life. I hesitated slightly. It had been decided that she would live here by father. If it was as if she was father's beloved bird in the cage. If I just let her escape, wouldn't I be hers scolded by father?
見たい。何を？動物園が見たい。
Okay. I was just a little surprised when she finally showed me I did not mean to fast forward that, by the way. Very soft smile. That might have been an inner peace coming from her newfound readiness to venture outside from her cage. A soft smile which I hadn't been imagined how could have come out of the dark face.
そなたと話すと知らないことばかり出てくる。わらわは学校なるものもわからぬし。
Well, it is time to go to school, even though you probably shouldn't go to school.
遊園地
Movie
も
theater.
知らぬ。
Amusement park.
そしてそれを
Okay,
知りたい
everything besides the school sounded nice.
心の底から思う。そなたは
Yeah, this was gonna end in like her brutal death or something. I was nervous about how I would do that to keep it secret from father, but her face looked so happy, so I went along with her and nodded. But it seemed that meaning behind my vague expression was not communicated to her. It seemed as he believed that I would really take her to all these places if we left. She was pure and genuine. She had probably never been tricked by anyone. No, maybe it should be said that she hadn't been taught how to doubt. Her face was something somewhat radiant and yet pathetic. I wanted to somehow grant her her modest wish.
わらわはもうベアトリーチェは嫌だ。わらわが何者なのか、ベアトリーチェではない新しい人間を始めたい。だからここから連れ出してほしい。もう紅茶もいらぬ、ドレスもいらぬ、金蔵とも二度と会わぬ。ここよりわらわを連れ出してくれ、ローザ。
Alright. Yet again, I am back from coughing. Sorry about that. However, that responsibility was one that a child such as me couldn't possibly bear fully. But her serious gaze and her brilliant smile, almost as though an evil spirit had lifted from her, made me feel a little courage to stir to rise up inside myself. This was definitely something that would get me in a lot of trouble. But it was definitely the right thing to do. I don't know how it will turn out, but I'll take her out. Of course, I won't be able to ask help from father and not mother either. Should I talk to Oni-sama or Oni-sama? No. What about the reliable Genji-san or... Oh, that's right. What about Kumasama-san, to whom I always talk with when I'm in trouble? I'm sure they'll be able to do something. Anyway, for now, I'll take her out, because this was no longer a place where she wishes to be. And so I took her to the crack in the fence and let her outside. She was so nervous, checking to make sure there were no wolves around. But after the fear disappeared, she seemed to somehow be having fun, even just walking around this dense forest. Every time she found something, she would ask me about it, and they were all really minor things. What's that flower? What's that leaf? And that sound? And that smell? It was really like the inside of the fence had been her entire world. So to her, who had stepped out of the world, this was, you know, it's strange. In the beginning, when I first saw her, I thought she was an absolute incarnation of the witch relaxing by a witch's mansion. But now it was different, or actually the complete opposite. She had gone out of a world she had believed to be finite, and was full of joy at realizing for the first time that the world was endless. So everything she saw was new. It was almost as though she was the one who had been thrown into a fairy tale. If she was Alice, then I almost felt like a rabbit holding her a watch. To her, it was probably a really fun walk filled to the brim with excitement. But as for me, the truth was I was completely bewildered. After all, I had just walked randomly to get there, so there was no way I could have known the way back to the mansion. There was no lights in the forest, and I hadn't brought a flashlight. I realized that it would be terrible if it got dark while we were still like this, and grew impatient. She was too innocent, and apparently she couldn't understand at all how frightening it would be to face the night inside the forest. But I was the one who had brought her outside. Somehow I had to take responsibility and resolve the situation. So I thought that for now we should go out to the sea. If we then follow the coast around, eventually we would definitely be able to make it back to the mansion. However, that was much more of a problem than I had imagined. After all, I didn't have a map or compass. There was no way I could walk in a straight line through an uncultivated forest and immediately lost my sense of direction. I had already had no clue which trail I'd come in, and by now I was completely lost. At this rate, night would definitely fall before I even knew where I was walking. But I didn't have the luxury to complain, because the woman following behind me was so innocent and having so much fun. Therefore, for the sake of her smile, if nothing else, I absolutely had to guide her out of this forest. Gritting my teeth so that I didn't show a troubled face, I pushed my way onward through the pathless woods. We found the beach. Oh, again though, that's like a really nice wallpaper. I know I keep saying that, but I'm gonna make one of these my wallpaper. And although we had various troubles, we were lucky enough to make it to the sea. In that time, I still didn't even have a clue where I was on the island. But for the time being, I was a little reassured, realizing that if I just went around this way, I would surely be able to return to the mansion. Of course, although I said that if we reached the sea, we were on top of a rocky cliff. Wait, is she gonna like fall? Oh my god, that'd be so bad if Beatrice drowns. I was tired from walking around the forest for so long, so I thought that even though it was a rocky beach, an open area would probably be much easier to walk in. So I planned to somehow go down the rocky cliff. It did look pretty dangerous, and I wondered if there was some other way. However, Beatrice agreed with my plan without any doubts. Even though she was probably older than me, she obeyed me truly obediently, almost as though there was some kind of chick who believed I was a mother bird. I searched to see if there was some place where I could go down the cliff. Then I found a place where the cliff had crumbled into a slope. then it looked a little dangerous. But if I went down on both hands and both legs like I was crawling, I thought it would be okay.
ここを降りましょう。気をつけないと危ないけど、とにかく海岸に降りて、あとは沿って歩けば。
ローザがそうするのならそうしようぞ。わらわは迷うとやらも楽しいぞ。とても愉快だ。
She really had no sense of danger. There was probably no mistake that she had lived in a life without discomfort, even though she knew it would get dark when night fell. She couldn't imagine how dangerous the inside of the forest would be without a light. It'll be like Dead by Daylight. Furthermore, it seemed that she couldn't grasp at all how dangerous it might be if she fell from the cliff. I warned her once to be careful. I cautiously examined the place where we could go down. It looked pretty high up. I think it might have been about 10 meters down. If you look from the bottom up, it probably would have looked a lot shorter than the roof of a mansion. But it looked from the top, it felt like almost staring down from Tokyo's tower observation room. But Beatrice still appeared to be completely without fear. It felt as though she had never been taught that high places were dangerous. No, maybe she truly believed that she was a witch, and that she could fly, so there wasn't anything dangerous. Oh god. Don't try and fly down.
気をつけてくださいね。結構高いから。
気をつけるぞ。下へ降りたら海があるな。そこに水族館があるのか。
Aquarium?
この島には水族館はないで、でも海にはたくさんの魚がいると思います。
そうか、魚はいるのか。そなたが話してくれた、
Penguins.
クジラとかイルカ。
いえ、そういうのは水族館に行かないといないです。水族館は島を出ないとないですよ。
そうなのか。だが楽しみだ。クジラとはどんな魚なのか。
すっごく大きな魚で、あれ？
She already knows more than I do.
それで潮を吹いたりします。
ならばイルカは？
頭のいい魚で、あれ？とても頭が良くて芸とかを覚えられるんですよ。
ほう、ならばペンギンはどうなのか。
あれ？
They're technically birds, but
なんだ、水族館なのにさっきから魚が出てこんぞ。
まあその魚だけでなくいろいろな海の生き物がいっぱいいるんですよ。
ほほー、それはとても楽しみだ。
to think that this would become what? She made some might have described it as funny rust and sword voice. No, probably it was a scream, I think. She suddenly made a sound like that. Her body separated from the cliff. Oh god! I immediately thought to say to her, how many times did I warn you to be careful? It was only the thought of a child. It was a child and immediately gets mad when something happens, trying to say that they're not at fault. Of course I said it too. Are you alright? How many times did I warn you? Oh my... oh my god. So she's dead like that?
それで崖から落ちてどうなった？彼女はどうしたんだ？ローザ。
Roosevelt. She's dead. Imagine the Golden Witch of Rokenzima dies from fall damage. Oh, sort of water bucket MLG or whatever it's called. Her gaze fell to her feet as though she was seeing through the floor to some disgusting memory. Eva's brutal words were the ones that Rosa had most wanted to avoid. And when she was hid from them, she screamed in resignation.
死んだわ！岩浜だったもの。尖った危険な岩がたくさんむき出しになっていた。目を見開いたまま、すごい血が溢れ出して、たちまち真っ赤な絨毯を広げていった。声をかけたわ！揺さぶったわ！でも、彼女は返事はおろか、瞬きすらも。私が悪いのよ。
I'm just shocked that she died like that.
あんな動きにくい格好なのを知っていたのに、私が壁木を降りようなんて言ってしまう。彼女はすごい素直だったから。
いつまで死んでいるつもりか。いい加減に目を覚ませ。まったく わらわの預かり知れぬところで。
Oh yeah, the sisters had fun with Battler.
おめえのとこの太もも姉ちゃんとイチャついてただけだぜ。
Well, the 7 stakes of her.
こ
Are they sisters though? I don't know.
見たままや。わらわは足を踏み外して転落し、死んだ。
Wow.
なんだ
Say it in red.
19人目として登場しておきながら死んだだと。ふざけるな、そんなわけはない。ローザおばさんは子供だったし焦ってた。医者がいたわけでもない。多分死んだと誤解しただけで、お前は多分その仮死状態か何かで生き
Say
て
it
い
in
たんだ。
red.
そうだろ。
Can't be. See us obviously alive. Otherwise, he wouldn't be here in front of me, right? The kid-aged Auntie Rosa was shaking Beatrice's body, crying. I too stared into that face, but her eyes were still open, and it really was a corpse. I wanted to brush it off with something vague like a state of apparent death, but from my angle, there was nothing apparent about it. She really didn't look anything but dead. Beatrice had fallen upside down from a cliff of that height, and her head had smashed against the pointed tips of those sharp rocks. You wouldn't die, wouldn't you, from that height on those rocks? But I can't accept that. No matter how dead she looks, she has to be alive. And if she came because... And she became this damn irritating witch. That way all of the inconsistencies fit. She'd been confined by my grandfather in a hidden mansion the whole time. And then to avenge herself, she planned out her revenge. And she would go on to commit a number of atrocious murders. Auntie Rosa probably just mistakenly thought that she had died. But she was alive, and as soon as Auntie Rosa left, she miraculously started breathing again. And then she somehow lived until today, and would open the curtain on her scene of her revenge. Otherwise, the facts don't fit.
そう簡単には騙されねえぞ。赤で復唱できるか。確かに死んだと。
That's what I was saying earlier.
どうせ生きてるんだろ。見え見えだぜ。
それの間違いなく死んでいる。
Oh! Damn! Okay, well, we're kind of fucked now. My theory that the 19th person was grandfather's... Though actually... She said she's dead. Like... No, Rosa isn't... I was about to just make an argument that Rosa's like a fake Rosa, but I'm not doing that. I thought I managed to segue from a defensive position into a counterattack, but...
ならお前は何者だってんだ。お前はたった今死んだんだろうが。まさか魔法で蘇ったとか言い出すんじゃねえだろうな。
すでに説明したと思うがな。そこに倒れているわらわは確かに魂はわらわだ。その体はわらわをうつしおへつなぎ止めておく肉の檻に過ぎなかった。
But wait just a moment. What if? Just what if? Because this is supposed to be purgatory. That's what it said in the chapter 1 Tea Party. That this was purgatory. That means she's dead. This entire thing is the afterlife where they're arguing from. Battler died in the beginning, so like, that technically explains how she died. Without magic. You're not the answer, you're already dead. I know it's a little bit of a weird response, but it's the only one I can think of. I don't have a clue anymore. She died of fall damage.
魔女っ子と奥に興じろ。チャカの代わりに聞いてやら。なんだ、空っぽか。おい、紅茶のおかわりを頼むぜ。
ロノウェ、客人が紅茶をお望みだ。
Give him some tea. When Beato clapped her hands, Rudolf appeared. But was sure
お
convenient.
かわりですね。かしこまりました。どの程度お継ぎしましょうか。
どうせチャカがボリューム満点だろうからよ。半分でいいぜ。
それでもなみなみとお入れするのが。
Even though I had just enough to wet my throat would have been fine, he filled it to the top with tea. I turned my back to Beato, sipping it in silence.
ちょっと目を覚まベアトリーチェ。
Rosa shook me. No, shook the corpse that had once been me. I watched over her from a short distance away. Ah, so I fell from there and died. I believed there was the truth for a while. After that, I saw Rosa spend a long time beside my corpse, then watched her as he ran away. Eventually, I realized that it was a different individual from that corpse. That's so sad, though. I kind of feel bad for her. Like, I know that she's been, like, the villain this entire time, but... Damn. Imagine being so excited to see the world and then die on a cliff. Eventually, I felt the memory returning. The fact that I was an endless witch who had lived for 1,000 years. And then I remembered that I had been summoned by Kinzo, and for a long time I'd been imprisoned by him. While I had been imprisoned in the cage of flesh, I completely lost my memory as a witch. However, thanks to Rosa, if you could say that, thanks to my accidental but fortunate death, I now had brought myself together. Oh, it's her villain backstory. It all makes sense. Oh yeah, she's like... She's probably now that this is the moment. The moment that Battery was talking about, but happening from like her being undead. But that doesn't make sense because witches couldn't have. I'm so confused. And it doesn't help that I'm sick either. Like, okay, before I continue, real heads up. Sorry if I've been kind of silent. I've like just been non-stop coughing, but I want to continue because it's getting so freaking good. I destroyed my human form, then I changed into several gold butterflies. Yes, with my magic power as frail as it is now, this form is easier. And to escape even a little from the light of the sun, I rode the wind and lightly passed over the cliff. It'll probably be somewhat cooler in the forest. Anyway, I'll take some time to recuperate and regain my original power, as I think of how I will pay Kinzo back for all that he's done. Dancing alone through the air, I looked down at the shore one more time. On the rocky shore lay a figure I had once possessed, and that I would eventually regain. To regain the form of that physical body I have thrown away, it'll probably take more than 100, 200 days. It may require 1,000 days, or maybe even more. However, I am the Endless Witch, the Golden Witch who has lived for 1,000 years. Waiting any countable number of days is no problem at all. Haha, oh Kinzo. You may regret it that you are not here now. No longer will you be able to capture me. Ha 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 ha. Cackle cackle. Damn. Honestly, everyone has it tough. Like, this entire island is just filled with, like, just pain and... I don't know. We need to escape.
それで、お前は黄金の蝶に姿を変え。
そういうことだ。そなたを嘲笑するためにこの姿を取るが。
無理しねえで楽な格好で嫌がれよ。ムカつく笑い声を聞かずに済むぜ。
蝶に姿を変え、森に紛れたわらわを探し出すことなど。だが。金蔵も指を加えているわけではなく、
And that's when like he started going crazy and this entire set.
島から逃さぬ方法、そしてわらわが力を取り戻すこと、やれやれ。とにかく金蔵の執念深いことと言ったら、あれに惚れられるのも。
蝶になったお前を逃がさない方法？なんだよ。森全体に蚊帳でも張ったってのか？
Oh. Well, I mean, that's one way to do it.
魔法的に起こっ、そなたは知っておるか？船着き場の先の洋上に岩礁が浮かび。
あ
あ。Oh
今
wait,
年はなくなったけどな。
From the last episode.
昔、修験者が作ってったとかいう祠なんだろ。
It got destroyed, and that's what.
六軒島は元来。
That's how she got her powers back.
それに類した存在を引きつけます。お嬢様もそんなうちのお一人でございましょう。紅茶のおかわりはいか。
いただこう。
Yes, more tea.
それらは人間たちに害をなし。それを聞きつけた東洋魔術師が古代に設けたのがあの祠なのだ。長い時間を経てその力は失われておった。金蔵はそれを修復することで島の結界を蘇らせ。
西洋魔女のお前に
Eastern. I don't think that
東
makes
洋
a
の魔法なんて
difference.
通じ
本来は相性が悪い。しかしわらわを封じたいという目的においてはある意味都合が良かっただろうな。わらわも西洋魔術であればどのような結界であっても何かの手が打てたであろう。しかし東洋魔術は専門
Never
だ。
mind, that actually is how it works.
わらわが飲まんとするスープに対しスプーンではなく箸を与えられたようなものだ。
東洋魔術が強く支配する空間では、西洋魔術はただでさえ千日はかけたであろう力を取り戻す時間をさらに長くかけねばならなかったのです。
それで約20年かけて魔力を取り戻し、今こうして蘇ったって言いたいのか？
辛く長い年月であった。わらわは黄金の蝶の姿のまま長く日々を送り、どのように仕返しをしてやろうか、それを思案することだけを日々の楽しみに生きてきた。
Then just get back at him, not like every person on the island.
わらわにとって幸運だったのはその間の20年間。金蔵はわらわを探し出し、捕らえるあらゆる秘術に人間に起こせる奇跡の数などたかが知れている。わらわをあれだけ長く捕らえていただけでも十分に身に過ぎた奇跡だ。そう何度も捕らえられてはたまらぬわ。
じいさまが前のゲームだかで言ってたな。魔法は確率的奇跡に宿る。
うん。金蔵はわらわを再び捕らえる秘術を探るうちにそこに行き着いたのだ。そして13人の生贄を捧げることでわらわを再び蘇らせる儀式を。
13人の。
それが魔女の碑文、生贄の
I
歌
find
で
it
ござ
funny
い
though
ま
how
す。
in Kinzo's own backstory he's barely
第
there.
一の番に
I
6
feel like they're
人、
still like hiding a bunch with him.
第2の番
Because
に
he's a
2
strange
人、
person.
そして第4の番から第8の番にかけて5人、合計13人の生贄を捧げる禁じられた儀式。その生贄はランダムに決められ、儀式を執り行う金蔵自身も例外にはなりません。
バカ野郎。この島で起こったあの凄惨な殺
Is
人
this
が
what made you say that?
全部
Like out of
お
all
か
of the
しな
stuff
儀
that has
式だって
happened?
言うのかよ。
I was vaguely thinking about this might be a possibility, but I can't just hear that this is the truth from a witch and a demon and say, oh really, and accept it.
六軒島には18人いる。13人が生贄に捧げられ、5人だけが生き残る。そしてわらわは蘇る。つまり
And then you
金
kill
蔵
the
がわらわに
rest.
再び会える確率は
Like no one
大体
survives. That's the
3
thing
分の
that
1と
makes
いっ
this
たところ
like
か。
bullshit.
その確率に自らの命を落とし、残りわずかな寿命の最後の一瞬にわらわとの再会を望んだのだ。
そのふざけた儀式のために俺たち親族が集められたってのかよ。ふざけやがって。いい加減なことを抜かすんじゃねえ。
もとより契約の通りだ。金蔵の生を終えるとき、貸し与えた黄金と、そして金蔵が生み出した財産のすべてを、金蔵には散々に英雄を飲まされたが、今となってはこの1000年でも稀な時間だった。何しろ魔女の天敵は退
The
屈。
natural enemy of the Wild West
それ
is
から
boredom.
逃れることのできる数十年間を提供した金蔵には、なるほど。
I will keep
それ
saying
も
this,
含めて
and I
借
will
り
say
が
it
あるや
again
も
and
しれ
again.
ぬ。
This is really fucked up.
わらわは金蔵のゲームに乗ることにした。そしてまず金蔵は後宮家当主の指輪をわらわに返却する。わらわの黄金で復興させた家だからな。そして13人の生贄を気まぐれに決めるのだ。そしてその過程でお前たちが右往左往し、わらわに立ち向かおうと様々な人間模様を見せてくれることはわらわにとって非常に愉快なこと。わらわはこの金蔵のゲームを実に気
We
に
could
入
have
って
just
い
played
る。
Monopoly instead.
ああ。
Though I think I'm going to end that here just because I'm worried if the video gets any longer, then YouTube's not going to let me upload it. Because when I did that 2-hour video, they broke it down to 2 for some reason. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, sorry about the cold. Hopefully that didn't interfere with the quality too much. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. Bye.